Hey, welcome back, watch fans. Today we're talking about Cartier, and we got little ducks over here. Little ducks, baby ducks. Unbelievable but true. Here we are in sunny and beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, and we're talking about Cartier versus Rolex. Cartier versus Rolex. Which should you get? Look, on the wrist, before we get into it, is the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, the Owl two-tone, day date moon phase. Now, look at this bezel, the bezel. That's right. Some of you guys call it the bezel. I call it the bezel. And the bezel, if you notice these screws, over here? Does that look familiar to you? Well, if you're one of these monkeys buying the Cartier, the Santos, the Galvay, whatever, all the Cartier sports watches, basically what you guys are buying is you're buying a cheap knockoff of the Royal Oak, because that's right. Cartier copied that screws design, right after the Royal Oak came out. And also the Ingenieur IWC had that. Those were designs of the great Gerald Genta. And what you're wearing when you buy that Cartier Santos is a cheap knockoff. That's right, you're a peasant. That's right, my friends. What does it say about you when you have a Cartier sport watch on the wrist? It tells the world that you are a peasant that can't afford a proper watch like a Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. Because look, this is the top of the line. The Audemars Piguet is the top of the food chain for sports watches. Cartier is basically like a poor man's version of the Royal Oak. Cartier is the poor man's version of the Royal Oak. It's for peasants. The Royal Oak, especially this model, is for the aristocrats. And that, my friend, is the reality. But listen, here's the problem. The Royal Oak, the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, is not a sports watch, okay? It's really a dress watch. You can't drop this in the water. I would not feel comfortable jumping in this lake and taking a swim. I wouldn't take it to the beach. I'm even very careful when I wash the watch. Look, the Audemars Piguet people are a bunch of scumbags, a bunch of degenerates. They're going to overcharge you for service if you ever need to get things serviced. So that is why the Rolex is the real sport watch, okay? Sure, we can talk about, this being a sport watch, but if you really are, somebody who's active, you want to play golf, you want to go to the beach, whatever it is, you absolutely do not even think about taking a Audemars Piguet with you, okay? But a Cartier, what about a Cartier? Well, the Cartier is, I would say, a little bit more reliable. It's a little bit more reliable or I should say a little more durable than the Royal Oak. And also, look, the Cartier is a piece of shit at the end of the day, right? They have pretty reliable service. They have stores all over the world. They're not gonna beat you up too bad to get the watch serviced if something goes bad. And I think probably the gaskets on the modern Cartier sports watches are better. So I would say Rolex is totally bulletproof, completely bulletproof. I have 100% faith in Rolex. But if you really need to have a Cartier, look, it's okay. The Cartier is a safer bet than the Audemars Piguet. Look, you can't drive, the Rolls everywhere. You can't drive the Bentley everywhere. That's why, I have two cars. I have the Bentley and I have the Porsche Cayenne, the turbo, by the way. Yes, not the peasant version, the turbo. Because look, sometimes you want to be relatively low key. Or, you might be going on rough roads, whatever, whatever it is, right? So you do want to have something that's a little more, that can take a beating. And that's, Rolex could be the Cartier sport line, and the Santos. But here's the problem. In reality, when you have the Cartier, here's the big issue with the Cartier. It's really a peasant watch. It's sort of like, it's a wannabe watch. It is the poseur watch. It really is the poseur watch. I'm talking about the sports models, right? The ones that are on a bracelet, the integrated bracelet with the little screws there that look kind of like this, but they're fake, right? They're fake screws on the Cartier. If you're going to get a tank, if you're going to get one of the tank models, on a strap, I guess that's okay because, historically they're more of a dress watch. They came out of strap originally. It's just in the DNA. The strap is part of the Cartier DNA. But, if you're going to get a tank, if you're going to get one of the tank models, a strap, I guess that's okay because, historically they're more of a dress watch. They came out of strap originally. It's just in the DNA. The strap is part of the Cartier DNA. But, if you're going to get a tank, if you're going to get one of the tank models, they're more of a dress watch. if you're wearing it just on the steel bracelet, the Cartier on a steel bracelet, it does look very cheap. It looks like basically you're a guy that can't afford a real watch. I mean, that's my first take. If I see somebody wearing that, I think they're a poseur. They're basically a bum that they're buying into the Cartier name, and they're a sucker. Because really, the watch that they should be buying, frankly, is a Rolex two-tone. Look, if they want to dress things up, right? Look, if a guy is buying a Cartier, it means he wants to be a little more dressy, shall we? If you want to use that word, dressy. So what that means is you got to get a two-tone Rolex, get something rose gold, steel. Yachtmaster. I have a Yachtmaster, whatever. Listen, they got plenty of other watches. They got the Datejust 41, and here's the thing. The Rolex is going to keep its value. The Cartier won't. The Cartier designs, they just look very dated very quickly. The Cartier designs, they get kind of this dated look. Now, actually, look, before I bought this watch, I was a peasant. Okay, I was a peasant, and I always thought, look, these were a little bit pricey, so let me see if I can get a Cartier Santos. What is it? Tank Galbi, I think it is. That's the two-tone. That's the 80s watch, right? That's the one with, the two-tone with the gold. And it's kind of a cool watch. But again, I call it, it's like a hipster, ironic hipster watch, because it's not. Look, that watch is basically, it's an 80s piece. If you wear it to think that, hey, you're flexing, you're really not. It's more of like you're wearing it kind of like, like the way these guys are growing mustaches. It's not meant, it's sort of a retro type of thing, if you know what I mean. I'm not able to articulate the point because, I'm just not an articulate guy, but I think you guys know where I'm going with this. And if you don't, then you're morons. So, bottom line is, that Galbi Santos Cartier was, I think, $2,000 or 2,000 euros because it was in Barcelona. And actually, this watch was in Spain. This was in Cadiz. I don't know how you pronounce it. Cadiz. Sure enough, I find myself in Spain. I'm in Barcelona. I show up at the store. It's one of these second-hand guys. They don't have the watch. They got some story. It's somewhere else. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. I was like, okay, this is a waste of time. And I ended up buying this. So, and this has turned out to be a much better investment. Why? Because Audemars Piguet Royal Oak is that's the top of the top. And look, here's the other thing you got to realize. What's happening with Audemars Piguet, and again, I hate the company, I hate the people, but they are doing all the right things. They're going in all the right direction with innovation. The designs are hot. They got everything. I mean, they are on fire, okay? Everything they're doing is of the moment. Unlike Rolex, who's basically very conservative, or, Cartier is, a little more adventurous or whatever. But look, the Cartier thing is a bunch of tomato can stuff. It's all for tomato cans. With that crash watch, that bullshit crash watch. It's kind of it's kind of a cute watch. I get it. It's kind of a gimmicky thing. But that is not a watch that I would be putting money into. I have no faith in those Cartier crash watches. First of all, it's not really a men's watch. I mean, you do see men wearing, but it's a little bit of I don't know how to. It's I'm not sure how to explain. I wouldn't say it's a feminine watch, but it's ambiguous. It's ambiguous. And it's not a watch that is versatile. It is something that basically, you wear it for I don't know. I can't even explain that watch. It is beyond all words. So here, I'll leave it like this, my friends. If you buy a Cartier Santos, okay, if you buy a Cartier Santos, it means you are a third-rate peasant. All right, let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments, vicious and nasty comments below. I will see you all on the next one.